6 great and sweet reasons why you need a side hustle. More than 15% of Americans have a side hustle, according to the U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis. The 50 million side hustlers in our country earn anywhere from $500 to $2,800 every month, making second gigs an appealing prospect for an increasing section of the population. If you aren't yet in the gig economy, check out the sweet reasons why you might want to reconsider embarking on a side hustle's bandwagon. Who knows? A new gig could potentially replace your current job and become your primary source of income in the future. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you're doing fantastic. I'm doing wonderful, and if you're doing as wonderful as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea. Today I want to talk about 6 great and sweet reasons why you need a side hustle. Now, the first reason is very simple. You can expand your network significantly. I'm talking about your professional network, right? With your side gig, you can broaden your network. You can know more people. You can actually, engage in industry events. It's very important, especially if you have a primary job that you don't like or that's taking a lot of your time. Engaging in a side hustle allows you to meet people, right? You can volunteer. You can tap into your alumni networks. You can host events. You can actually participate in industry events. You can also approach a venture capital firm for a recommendation that exists, right? Let's say your side hustle is really growing and you get to a point where you need financing. You might want to reach out to a private equity firm, an angel investor, or a VC firm, a venture capital firm. Either way, you are actually reaching out to new people, new audiences, and new professionals. So by doing that, you are implicitly expanding your network. Another thing you can do also is by engaging in a side hustle, you can actually become a member of a professional organization, right? Imagine you're an accountant. Your day job is accounting, but you have a side hustle in marketing. You can, in digital marketing, that is, you can basically join a social media marketing or professional association in your area, and you can even be elected to the board, or you can participate in that organization's social activities. So this allows you to expand your network. Now, when it comes to expanding your network, I've just told you about what you can do offline, right? But the same applies online. Think about it. You can, if you have the right platforms, if you have the right Facebook account or Instagram or YouTube, you actually have all of a sudden access to a new audience, right? And that also allows you to expand your follower base, expand your audience online. So this is a win-win. This is a win both offline and online. That's the first reason. Second reason, you could actually turn the side gig into a job you love. Who knows? If that's what you want, that side gig could become your primary job, right? Because the thing here is that, let's say you have a primary job that pays you $5,000, but you're working 40 hours or 45 hours or 50 hours a week. And I'm not even talking about the commute back and forth and everything else, right? But imagine you are running a side gig from your house and you don't have to think about commute. You are comfortable, and that side gig is generating, say, $2,500. So 50% of the primary income, right? So at some point you might have to make a determination as to whether or not it makes sense to continue going to your primary job, because there's something called cost of opportunity, right? If you have to think about the expenses, the commute expenses, the energy, you have to wake up at 6 in the morning, get ready, get the kids ready if you have children, that kind of stuff, versus being in your pajama and actually just work from home. So you can actually turn the side gig into a job you love. Again, if the passion is there, if the commitment is there, and most importantly, if the numbers are there. Like if you're generating sales and people like what you do, you're getting fantastic reviews on Facebook, on social media in general, this is a good sign that you might want to scale at some point and make this a full-time gig. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still continuing our conversation about the 6 reasons why you need a side hustle. Now, earlier I was talking to you. The first 2 reasons were, number 1, you can expand your network significantly. Number 2, you can turn the side gig into a job you love. Now, number 3, you get financially empowered. Think about it. If you have multiple sources of income, this is a very empowering visualization. You know, you're comfortable. Let's say you have 3 or 4 side gigs. You know, you're getting extra. You're getting $5,000 or $10,000 extra from all those hustles. It just makes your life a lot easier, right? You can take more risks. You can expand those side gigs. You can scale them, and you don't have a problem actually resigning from your current job if that's what you want, right? At the end of the day, it's all about giving you options. It's all about broadening the financial scope of your life so you can see things differently, right? So a side hustle is very brilliant in the sense that it gives you that freedom. It gives you that empowerment. It allows you not only to meet people, but also it allows you to have a fatter and fatter bank account. And this is not negligible, right? Now, the thing here is that now you can do this 2 ways, right? If you want to make more money, if you want to increase your income, which is what everybody wants to do at some point, you can either try to get a raise at your job, trying to get a promotion, so you get a raise while staying in the same role, or get a promotion, or quit your job and hoping to find another job that pays more, right? That's pretty cool, right? Now, the other option here is that you can still stay at your current company, but doing something on the side. Again, I'm not saying you have to run the side gig full time. It's called a side hustle for a reason, right? It's called a side hustle because it means that you are probably spending 10 hours a week maximum on that side hustle. Sometimes you can even put it on autopilot. In other words, you set up, let's say you have an online Shopify store, right? Shopify online store. Of course, at the beginning, you probably will be spending a lot of time setting everything up. But once everything is set up, you would basically just put everything on autopilot and just start making money, right? So either way, you get financial empowerment, right? Number 4, you can use the extra cash to build wealth. This is the sweetest of all the reasons here. I love this. I love these reasons. By generating extra income, you can actually save more. You can plan your retirement more comfortably. You just acquire that peace of mind that all of us want, right? All Americans, and I guess everybody, all humans for that matter, want peace of mind, and financial stability is a cornerstone of that peace of mind, right? So unless you live in the Himalayas and you don't have to pay bills or taxes, but if you live in modern society or modern civilization, you will need to have some kind of cash to have financial peace of mind. So basically, the thing here is that with the money that you generate, with the extra cash you generate from your side gig, you could actually open a savings account. You can open a second savings account, which is the rainy day, the emergency fund. You can actually invest. You can allocate some of that cash into some investment, stocks, bonds, ETFs, electronically traded funds, mutual funds, you name it. Or you can even push that cash onto your retirement strategy. You can even buy life insurance, right, to provide financial security for your survivors, your spouse, your children, if you're married and have kids. Okay, I'll be right back. Now let's get this going. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. If you're still here and you love the content, the clarity of the content we're providing, and the quality of the content, consider subscribing to our channel. Turn on the notification bell so you are aware whenever we drop a new a new show. We drop this kind of shows every single day. We cover a variety of topics, and consider subscribing, like this content, share, and comment. If you have a side hustle right now, or do you have a side hustle? If you do, let us know what your hustle is. Let us know how much money you're making. If you can reveal that, and let us know how you've been doing. We really want to hear from you. Right. Reason number 5. You can acquire a new set of skills. If you engage in a side hustle, chances are you would have to learn new skills. And this is wonderful, right? Because the human brain is programmed to continually learn. By polishing your existing skills or acquiring new skills, you are expanding your neural domain. You are producing new neurons. And this is fantastic, right? Because your brain chemistry changes. You are able to learn things fast. You are able to you become a more interesting person when you go to a networking event. You can talk about a lot of stuff. All of those things are just bonanza for you. Those are great. So you acquire a new set of skills. Again, going back to the earlier example I gave, if you are in accounting and you switch, or you have a side gig, advising clients on digital marketing, specifically social media marketing, imagine the set of skills that you would have acquired while doing that. And those skills are totally different from the capabilities you have developed in accounting and finance, right? Here we're not talking about balance sheet and income statement. We're talking about conversion rate. We're talking about engagement. So you become more interesting. All right. Another thing here is that by acquiring a new set of skills, you make connections. Actually, you make new connections. You meet new people. Right. I said that earlier. But the thing that's very important here is that you could actually prevent dementia. Right. Research has shown that people who are engaged in some kind of intellectual activity are less likely to develop, some kind of mental disease, so dementia, Alzheimer's, all that kind of stuff. So stay active physically, intellectually, socially. It's all great. It's all wonderful. Reason number 6, you can use the extra cash to pay off debts, right? If you generate enough money, and you unfortunately are like the majority of Americans, you are saddled with debt, you can use the extra cash to pay off debt, right? Or earlier I was talking about you can use the extra cash to build wealth, but if you have debt, it's just better to first pay off the debts before savings, right? Because if you have a loan that carries a 10% interest rate, and you can't find an investment vehicle on the market that offers you at least 12 or 13% ROI, return on investment, it's just better to first knock out those obligations, those financial obligations, before you start investing in earnest. So you can use the extra cash to pay off debts, whether it is credit cards or the long-term debts such as student loans or mortgages. Everything counts. Every little bit, every cent counts, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to build your financial future. You are trying to reduce your overall liability. And most importantly, you're trying to raise your overall credit score, right? So everything counts. And by raising your overall credit score, it allows you to get loans at better rates. It allows you to get insurance coverage at a better rate. So it's very important. Now, one thing that I need to mention here is that if you have a side hustle, make sure that side hustle, because the side hustle might actually make you incur more expenses, more costs. In other words, it might make you spend more money. Just make sure that you're able to find a right balance between the expenses associated with that side hustle and the revenue. In other words, make sure the net impact of that side hustle is actually positive, that you're able to cover all the costs associated with that side hustle, and most importantly also that you're able to pay yourself. Because how are you going to determine whether you're making a profit if you don't take into account all expenses, including your own services? All right, I'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, folks, to another edition. We are about to wrap up today's conversation, and today's conversation was very interesting. If you wanted to know the context of today's conversation, we talked about 6 great and sweet reasons why you need a side hustle. And the reason is that more than 15% of Americans have a side hustle, according to U.S. Bureau of Economic Analysis data. The 50 million side hustler in our country earn anywhere from $500 to $2,800 every month, making second gigs an appealing prospects for an increasing section of the population. If you aren't yet in the gig economy, I'm sure you'll listen to all the sweet reasons why you might want to reconsider embarking on the side hustles bandwagon, right? Who knows? A new gig could potentially replace your current job and become your primary source of income in the future. Now, here are the 6 sweet reasons why you need a side hustle. You can expand your network significantly. You could turn the side gig into a job you love. You get financially empowered. You can use the extra cash to build wealth. You can acquire a new set of skills. You can use the extra money to pay off debts. All right, this is very important. Now, folks, we're about to wrap this up. Now, I want to give you a call to action. In every show, we like to give a call to action to sort of guide, or I would say usher our audience into a new intellectual field or into a new path when it comes to improving their career, their lives, their business, you name it. So in today's show, I want to make sure that whatever side hustle you have decided to pick, make the time. Give it the time. Don't make it just, of course, it's a side gig, but what you give your attention to grows. So it's very important to give it the time. That's number 1. Number 2, so I just want to quickly finish the first section here. If you're giving it the time, whether it is 2 hours a week or 3 hours a week, if it's once every Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, whatever it is, make sure you're disciplined enough and committed. Number 2, try to have a work-life balance. This is very important. Everybody's just talking about work-life balance, right? So if you have a regular job, you may not have work-life balance already. So adding a second occupation might even just, make things more complicated. So you want to have trying to find out a right equilibrium when it comes to running those 2 activities, your primary job and your side gig. All right. Another thing you want to talk about here is that I want to talk about is your relationship. If you are in a relationship, if you have children and you have a spouse, make sure you're able to, again, going back to what I said earlier about work-life balance. The idea is to be able to run all those processes, quote-unquote processes, simultaneously but also effectively, so that the extra cash that you are generating from a side hustle is not the cause, it's not the cause of divorce. It's not the reason why your spouse decided to leave you because of a lack of attention. So this is very important. You gotta strike a right balance here. All right, thank you, and I will see you next time. Good luck and stay hungry.